How's it going, guys? Chris Jones, owner operator here at Speed of Sound Audio Experts. I'm sitting down, in case you didn't see one of my other videos, tore my Achilles, so I'm rolling around the shop. It's fine, I'm getting stuff done, doesn't really matter, but I wanted to make this video. We get a lot of questions from customers that have these new bikes, and even the older bikes, but mainly right now it's the new bikes. 24 Road Glide, 25 Road Glide, 24 Road Glide. These two bikes, that gray bike is mine, but these two bikes are here right now getting the upgrade. This bike actually had the Rockford Fosgate Stage 4 upgrade with the new Rockford Fosgate amp, this one here, and the Rockford Fosgate 6.5s. I didn't want to drag them over because I'm, again, gimping around the shop here, but it also had the Rockford Fosgate 6x9s in the lids. The guy spent $1,900 for this system without installation and brought it to us because he was disappointed with what he got out of that Rockford upgrade. This guy, same way, this guy had the Stage 3 upgrade, so he had just the 6.5s in the front with the Rockford amplifier put in. Not sure exactly what he paid for his, but I'm guessing probably somewhere in the area of like $1,500 bucks, $12 to $1,500. Both of these bikes are here. They both paid for those upgrades, and we're now removing those upgrades and putting in what we install because they heard other bikes that we have in the shop, and they heard my bike. So my point to this video is, while this stuff is quality, it's fine, it's not worth the money. You're spending way too much money on these, and then guys are coming in and taking these out and selling them on Marketplace and having us install our equipment. The reason I'm making this video is I had a customer who lives about an hour away, or potential customer who lives about an hour away, who was messaging me last night online, questioning whether or not spending the extra money to have us do it is going to be better than what he has in this system. And my point to him was, listen, I have two of these bikes, a 25 Road Glide, a 24 Road Glide in my shop that both had, these are both CVOs, by the way. They both had the Stage 3 or Stage 4 upgrade done by Harley on these bikes. They're both here having that product taken out and having our product installed, simply because they heard a bike that we had at the shop that had our system in it. So again, I just want to make this video to show guys that yes, what we do here and what other shops do is leaps and bounds for about the same money over what the Rockford Fosgate system has to offer. Louder, clearer. The complaints we get about these is once guys are up to like 70 miles an hour on the highway, they can't hear them. And what Rockford and Harley do is they make these speakers or make the sound system so that it won't play loud enough for you to blow the speaker. They don't want to warranty speakers. They don't want you coming back once a month and saying my speaker's blown. So in doing what they do, there's no possible way you can blow these speakers. That being said, we put in higher powered speakers, we put in a higher powered amplifier, and we also set it so that there's no way you can blow the speaker. We tune the system on the bike. We have special tuning tools that we use. Pardon me while I roll around the shop here. This is the one we use the most. We wire this to the amplifier when we're done doing the installation. On here is a distortion light. We turn the gain up on the amplifier. We see that distortion light come on. We back it off a little bit until the light goes off, and now we know we have zero distortion. In doing that, instead of having this amplifier that I forget the exact power of this amplifier, but I think it's like 75 watts by 2. Or 75 by 4, depending on whether you're doing the Stage 3 or Stage 4 upgrade. In doing that, we're running an amplifier that's 175 watts by 4. So our amplifier is roughly 100 watts per channel, or 400 watts total, more than the Rockford amplifier is. So we're putting in speakers that can handle twice as much power, an amplifier that's twice as powerful, and then tuning that so that you have no distortion. We're increasing the volume to double the power of what the bike has stock, there's no chance of ever getting distortion to the amplifier, which means there's no chance of getting distortion to the speakers because we've tuned it, and there's no chance of blowing up the speakers. I just beg guys to come down. Guys are like, oh, I don't know, I'm not sure, I'm on the fence. I'm like, come by and listen. My bike's always here. I have a 24 Road Glide that's always at the shop. Anybody can come down and listen to it. We almost always have a bike in the shop. This bike is done. This bike will be done within the next 24 hours. So we almost always have a bike in the shop that you can come down and listen to. So again, we just ask that if you're on the fence, just come by. There's no hurt in coming down and listen, and then you make a decision based off of that. What I'm pretty sure of though is if you're ready to do the upgrade, you're gonna come down, you're gonna listen, and you're gonna make that decision. Go on our Facebook, check out all the videos that we have on our Facebook of the bikes that we've done. We have testimonies on there. We have happy customers on there. You know, we did a guy yesterday that came in and already had his own Rockford amplifier, aftermarket amp, and really didn't want to spend the money on our amp. Honestly, it didn't sound as good as one of these bikes did with our amp, but that's okay. So basically, you know, he left here extremely happy with ground zero speakers in his bike. We just have tons and tons of customers and testimonials of people that will tell you that they upgraded their bikes and they're more than happy with what they got. We don't have a single customer that has said to us, oh, I was expecting more. Not one single customer has said to us, I was expecting more than what this does. Every single customer, when we fire the bike up for the first time and we start playing a song, whether it's a song that we listen to all the time, we always like to use like Money for Nothing by Dire Straits, or whatever, AC/DC Back in Black, or whatever the customer wants to listen to. We'll play that song and we get a grin, and the customer will look at us and smile and nod their head, and I'm like, yeah, that's it right there. That's what it's all about. It's so awesome. That's better than any money a customer could pay for their install, is seeing that customer just happy about their bike. And then they leave here, and then their friends come back and get their bikes done. This guy right here, we did, I apologize because I can't remember Jeff's last name right now, but Jeff lives in Portsmouth. We picked his bike up about maybe 2 to 3 weeks ago. I think it was a 21 Road Glide. We picked it up, we brought it back here. We did the ground zero speakers with our 4-channel amp in his bike. This guy's bike is here because of Jeff's bike. Jeff has just, he's awesome. He's like such an awesome customer. He has just raved to people about the sound quality of the system that we installed on his Harley. He went from the stock Harley system with just the 2 6.5s to our upgrade. And again, Jason, this is Jason's bike. His bike is here because Jeff is his buddy, and Jeff told him to come down and get his bike done. And so that's why this bike is here. This bike's done. He's picking it up today. And I know for a fact, because he listened to a bike that we had here, I know for a fact that he's going to be so excited when he picks this bike up. So this bike is getting, we're actually doing the Velocity 6.5s in the front. He wanted something that was a little bit brighter, so where the ground zeros are more of a fuller sound of speaker, the Velocities are a little bit higher end speaker, and they give you a little bit more brightness out of the speaker because it has a horn tweeter. Let me grab one here. So this is the Velocity speaker with the horn in the middle. This is a neodymium speaker, so this will drop right into these bikes. We have a little 1/4-inch spacer that we install, and these drop right in. So there's no need to modify the pod. They just drop in. Again, with the horn tweeter, they're going to be brighter than the ground zeros that have the silk dome tweeter. Nothing better or worse about the one or the other, except for the fact that this is just a brighter, crisper sounding speaker than the ground zero, and that's what this guy wanted. So these are going to go in this bike. We're still doing the ground zero 6x9s in the lids because I have yet to find a 6x9. It's the ground zero yellow basket 6x9. I have yet to find a 6x9 that has as much mid bass as that 6x9. I can't say enough. If you go on our Facebook, you'll see customers just doing pictures with thumbs up, you know, whatever they're doing, because they're happy customers, because they're so happy with what they got from us. All of our installations, plug and play. We don't cut or splice any wires on this bike. Heck, we don't even cut the speaker wires in the front, a lot of guys will just cut these off and solder onto them. You could, no big deal. I don't think Harley's going to void the warranty if you do, but I don't know if they're going to void the warranty if you do. So we have connectors that we make that plug into the back of our speakers here and then plug into the Harley so that you don't, again, we're not cutting or splicing any wiring. No wires cut or splice underneath the fairing on these bikes. We also use on the 25s. So on the 24 and newers, whether it's a street glide or a road glide, the factory amplifier, which is again is this guy here, plugs into this plug here and then mounts up on top of this amp rack. The problem, if you guys haven't heard this already, is if you take this amplifier out, you get a check engine light and the bike doesn't run. It goes in the limp mode. Shouldn't say it doesn't run. It'll run, it just won't run properly. So what we have from Volunteer Audio are these A2B interfaces. So this interface plugs into here, and once it's plugged in, the bike now does not know the difference between the amplifier or this. It actually thinks the stock amplifier is plugged in. Again, plug and play, so we're not cutting or splicing any wiring. This gives us our RCA audio output. It actually gives us 5 channels, so it gives us front and rear and a subwoofer output if you were running a subwoofer. It also gives us the amplifier remote turn on, so this turns the amp on. And then it also gives us our 4 speaker wires out to the bike. So if this bike didn't come with rear speakers, we actually have an adapter harness to go in the back of this bike to give us the rear speaker output, because Harley doesn't wire the rear speaker output. They wire them back to roughly where the battery is, but they don't go past that point. We have a plug that we plug in back there that gives us that speaker output. I'll grab one of those. This harness here has the rear speaker wires run in, but as you can see here, those two and these two over here are where the speaker wires would come out if the bike came stock with rear speakers. It doesn't. The red one does, but this one doesn't. So what we have, and we get these custom made, we're the only ones who have this harness. We have this harness that plugs in here, and we make the speaker part of this up. We have the harness itself made by a third party, and now we have rear speaker wires that will run out to the rear speakers on this bike. And of course, down behind the bags, we're going to put the quick disconnect so that when you take your bag off, you can unplug it. So yeah, again, this is mainly a video again for guys who are on the fence about upgrading these bikes. And you know, again, it was just a conversation that I had via text last night with a customer who was really leery about this system being an upgrade over the Stage 3 Rockford system that Harley can install. Again, if these guys are doing it, and these aren't the only guys, multiple guys have done this and taken out that system and been disappointed. They throw it on Marketplace. One guy sold it for $900, a 4-speaker system. The guy with the red bike will probably get more because he actually has the lids. He had the stock lids. He bought lids that came with the 6x9s built into them. So he has those lids, and he'll be able to sell the lids with the 6x9s, with the front speakers, with the amplifier for, you know, maybe $1,000, which is probably what they're worth new. Even if the, you know, from Rockford, that would make more sense to me. You know, if these systems weren't $2,500 installed, I could understand how they could be an upgrade. But for $2,500, it's definitely an upgrade, but it's not a $2,500 upgrade for sure. You know, it'd be like having a Porsche and upgrading 1 horsepower for 20 grand, you know, or something. It just doesn't make sense. It's disappointing to guys because they're expecting to have a bike that's loud. They spend the extra money, they get it. It sounds great in the parking lot. It sounds great at the shop. They get down the road and they're like, where'd my music go? And this guy in particular was like, at full volume, radio as high as it will go, he cannot hear the audio on this bike when he's going down the highway. Guaranteed 110% that when we're done with this bike, without it being at full volume, he'll be able to hear the audio in this bike while he's going down the highway. So again, if you're on the fence, please come down. We always have a bike here. Again, check out our Facebook. I'll post a link. Check us out on the web at speedofsound.net. You can always call me directly at 603-766-6666. Ask for Chris. If I'm not here, the guys will forward the call to my cell phone, and I'll take your call while I'm not here. Again, my name's Chris Jones. I'm the owner and operator here at Speed of Sound Audio Experts in Somersworth, New Hampshire. We are right on the back road between Home Depot and Hilltop Fun Center, next to where they just put up the giant sports dome. We have a soundboard that used to be a marine soundboard that we're actually rebuilding now to accommodate all of our bike audio. We have the 6.5s in the top. We're actually going to be putting 6x9s in the bottom. So everything's here. Come on down, take a listen. Again, Speed of Sound, Audio Experts, Somersworth, New Hampshire, 603-766-6666. Thanks for watching, guys.